And 3, 2, 1.
Yippee-Ki-Yay, mother.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Ken's not cool!
He is to me.
You're just gonna slow me down.
Barbie, what if there's beach? You'll need someone who's a professional in that.
Did you bring your rollerblades?
I literally go nowhere without them. Please.
Okay,
Wow.
let's do this.
Can I sit in the front?
No.
Welcome to a very special edition of Yippee-Ki-Yay Mother Podcast. What the heck? Who are these? This isn't the regular crew. What's going on here?
What's up?
What's up? Hey.
What's up, everyone?
Oh, these are this is a very special Yippee-Ki-Yay Mother Podcast. We're going to talk about the film Barbie with my nieces, nephews, sons, and daughters. This is amazing. I think my two kids are going to drop off pretty quickly. I'm not sure how this is going to work.
This is a
So,
long
hello.
intro.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Start with Nick.
I'm Nick. I'm Ralph's nephew, his favorite nephew, as you all know.
That's partially true.
A part-time movie connoisseur, and I'm here to discuss Barbie, so
Okay.
I'm ready.
The person in the old ping pong room.
Emily. I'm a niece, and I am also a movie connoisseur, a cinephile, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll call it whatever. Cinephile's good. Bella, that's you. Bella, my daughter.
I'm Bella, Ralph's daughter. I don't know if I'd call myself a movie connoisseur, but
You do watch
I
films. You
I watch
films.
films.
Okay. And you saw Barbie,
I saw Barbie.
but you might just listen to this podcast. You're not going to, you might stay on.
I might.
don't know. Okay. And
Maybe, yeah.
last but not least, unmute yourself. Say hello.
What's going on, guys? I'm Leo. I'm a movie connoisseur. I used to be a part of the gang making shorts, but now I'm demoted to barely on the.
Well, you got us a lot of hits, but then it's kind of dried up. I don't know what happened. So, and Leo is about to turn 21 on Friday, so that's very exciting.
Happy early birthday.
All right, so for this podcast, which we're going to do talk about Barbie, I will represent the patriarchy, okay? So I will
I could
defend
tell by your shirt.
the patriarchy, yes. I'm just going to say it. I'll just start by saying I love the movie. I'm not one of these people that got offended by what they perceived was going on. But I want you guys to do the talking. Tell me how what you thought of the film, and then I want to get into some of the, it's not political stuff, but some of the stuff that this film was wrapped around, and like the right wing lost their mind because they thought they hated men. There's someone on our podcast that will never see this film because that person thought this is a film about hating men. But let's start with Bella. Before you jump off, because you might jump off quick, just give me your just quick little synopsis of the film or what you thought of the film, Barbie, starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling.
Okay. Barbie. It was a live action film about Barbie dolls, but it was supposed to be like a modern day like feminist type piece of like how kind of what Barbies were supposed to represent versus what they've kind of actually become, and like how people actually have understood them, I think. I liked the movie a lot. Yeah, I thought it was fun. Regardless of like what it was supposed to be doing, I thought it was a really fun movie to watch.
Just a fun film.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not just a movie about Barbie and her cultural impact, but Ken's relationship in that situation with Barbie, which is, I think, where people might get this movie confused. That really it is just about dolls that come to life and react in the real world. But okay, Leo, before you get off, you saw the film.
Yes, I did.
Did you see with a bunch of dudes, or who was in your
watched it with
gang?
Bella and Raphael.
Oh, really? A little
Yeah.
family outing.
Yeah.
And when you walked out, you all enjoyed it? Everybody? Well, let me tell you. Did you enjoy it? What was your thought?
I thought it was really funny, actually. Like, funnier than I thought it was going to be when I first went in.
Yeah.
Maybe I can't read between the lines, but I didn't see any, like, I just don't understand the whole male perspective on the movie.
You didn't get that speech from America Ferrara, whatever her name is? That was right smack to the head. The
Team
speech.
America Ferrera, get it right.
Okay, America Ferrera. I always get names wrong, by the way.
Oh,
The speech that she gives to wake the Barbies up. You didn't understand that cultural significance?
But is that hating men or just promoting feminism? It's like,
No, you're right. It's promoting. It's her
or
response
whatever
to
the word
how
is.
women have been treated, or what they're how they're perceived in the world.
I
Or
see.
how, right? So that's the reaction people had was because of that direct message.
Mm.
I
Which,
think there's some confusion with empowering women means we hate men.
well, there's a lot of people who think feminists hate men.
But I think
So-
the speech that she gives really has nothing to do with men, does it?
No, it has everything to do with how they feel in the world. Women.
Women, yeah.
That's, I saw it at the drive-in with Maria,
Mhm.
my wife, and she almost cried at that speech.
A lot of people did. I
Yeah.
was in the bathroom the first time it happened, so
Yeah, I mean, because her generation, okay, I don't know how you guys, like, this is why I wanted to get you guys on, especially the ladies. Maria's generation was sort of the last of the kind of sexist, like, workplace, hey, little girl, slap him on the butt, hey, little girl, get me some coffee. I mean, she dealt with a lot of that kind of harassment growing up, and to this day still carries that with her. And she was wondering about how you guys, mostly the females, Nick, we'll get to you in a sec.
Sure.
Is that something that you guys I mean, obviously you understand it, but is that anything you've had to deal with in your jobs or whatever you've had to this point? I mean, how old are you guys? 20, Bella, you're 21. Emily, what are you, 25?
27.
You're 27? Are you the same age as Dylan?
Sure am. 2
Holy
months younger, 3 months
crap.
younger.
Oh my God.
Interesting that you say she was kind of the last to deal with that. I think that's very much still prevalent.
Okay, that's what I want to know. I mean, I felt like that we've grown out of that, but I guess we have not.
We have not, which
We
is
as a
very
culture, me as the patriarchy, we have
I
not
think it-
grown out of it.
Also
Go ahead.
comes across differently now. Like it might not be as like obvious.
So
like-
what does that mean? How is it manifesting itself then?
Like
just 'cause
I
someone's
feel like
not smacking your butt doesn't mean that they're not harassing you.
Have you gotten your butt smacked inappropriately? Now you were in Italy.
I don't
Were
know.
you-
You can get your butt smacked at work appropriately.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I mean.
Have I been harassed at
Well,
work?
no. If you got a friend or a boyfriend or something, they might snap you on the butt. That'd be appropriate. But when you were in Italy, you were just in Italy, right?
Yeah, that's a stereotype. I didn't.
So it didn't happen.
No, not at
Okay.
all.
Okay.
But it happens here in
Really?
our country at work here.
Okay. So it's still happening.
Yes.
I mean, it's not that I don't believe that. I want to get some information. That's
So
all.
I'm curious what you were gonna say though. Sorry I interrupted.
no, I
Oh.
was just gonna say like I feel like the biggest thing I've noticed is like an underestimation of like ability. I feel like it's a big thing that women deal with in the workplace.
And what I mean, you've actually dealt with that.
Yeah, I feel like I deal with that at my current job where it's like, and I mean, maybe it like might work to like my benefit sometime, but it's like my boss assumes that like my male counterpart would be better at doing certain things,
Oh wow.
like physical labor type of things,
Yeah.
or like other tasks, like random tasks like that.
Interesting. All right. Well, Nick, since you're a dude,
Sure. I can speak on the.
well, let's talk about the movie first, and
Well,
then
I
we'll-
want to bounce off what Bella just said because I work in
Okay.
a primarily male-dominated industry,
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
and for a good majority of the older men I deal with at work, when they see a woman doing what I do, it's looked down upon or almost like disgusted by it.
Explain
Which
what
is-
you do. Explain what you do so people.
I do heating and air conditioning. I work for my family business, which my
Right.
grandfather started.
Yep.
And recently we had a high school girl on co-op come work for us for a couple months. And just when she would come into a job, she was just getting like, looks like she shouldn't be here or she's not qualified enough to do this. And she was top of her class, doing well in school, and she learned very quickly. So
That's amazing. And you're talking about now. These are the older gents.
yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
guys your age, it's fine. It's great, right? No problem, no issue. Yeah, that's a problem.
For the most part, I mean, for the
Yeah.
people I surround myself with.
Right.
But there are definitely people my age and all ages that feel that way.
Well, this whole DEI thing that's been going on, where these guys are saying, if I get on an airplane and I see a woman pilot or an African American pilot, I think something's wrong here. How am I gonna I want a slack jawed white guy at the controls. That way I feel safe. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, so the movie, Nick, tell me who'd you see it with?
I saw it with my sisters.
So Leo's out. Okay, and you have 5 sisters. So how many did you see
5.
this one?
The first time I saw it with just 3 of them.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then-
you've seen it more than once.
Yeah.
Oh.
You usually like to do that with good movies, so.
Oh, there you go.
And
you did not bury the lead.
No, I thought it was great, and
Yeah.
it was hilarious. I didn't think it would be as funny as it was, like Leo said. I think Michael Cera was hysterical.
Yeah.
And just every line was delivered with such like power, and I think every actor from top to bottom bought into what Greta was doing, and they just looked like they were having a blast.
Yeah.
And it showed in the final production.
Yeah, they did not treat it like they were in a silly movie. They treated it like it was legit. Yeah. That's a credit to her. That's a credit, Ryan Gosling is just, he's the king. I love that guy. Yeah. I saw it twice. I watched it to do this podcast again so I could remind myself. I have to admit, I didn't like the second time as much as I did the first. The first I was at the drive-in, surrounded by a lot of there was older women, young women, all kinds of people around me, and it was an event. It was a blast. Now, watching it for the podcast, I definitely felt a little bit like I can see why people who are kind of, I'll just say the right wing, whoever these people are that were freaking out about this thing. It just hit you over the head with something that the movie is not. The movie is really about dolls that just come to life and have to negotiate the real world. Yep. And that's kind of funny. That was funny. His whole Ryan Gosling or Ken's awakening about the patriarchy and how horses are the extension of men, and it's fun, and he played it well. But the backlash I just found fascinating. It's what it is. It's just insecurity, I think. If you ask me.
Did you find yourself more critical the second time through?
Yeah, I
looking
did.
for things.
Not specifically for that type of thing, but just in general, because it was the fun to see this movie for the first time at a movie theater is an amazing experience, because it's so unlike anything that anybody's tried before.
Yep.
And to be so sincere about it in the way, like you're talking about Greta Gerwig and the writing and the way Margot Robbie handled herself. I just thought it was an amazing thing to watch. Then watching it the second time, you throw all that stuff away, and it's a different. Now, I had an opposite experience. I did see Saltburn, right? And when I saw Saltburn the first time, I was like, eh. And then I saw it the second time, knowing all the stuff that was going on, and I absolutely loved that film. So I had a completely different experience.
What stuff
watching
going on? The improvising?
No
I don't want to
spoilers.
I don't want to spoil it, but things happen in that film that you find out later, right? They do that whole thing. But going in knowing what those things are before you start the film, you concentrate on other stuff that's going on, and I just felt like it was a better experience for me. In Barbie, I had the opposite. I didn't like it as much the second time.
Did you watch it by yourself the second time?
Yeah. And again, it was to get some notes on for this. But again, I just got hung up on people just criticizing it who haven't seen it. I mean, frankly, my brother, who's the other podcaster I'm talking about, he will not see this film and will criticize it all the time, but he's never seen one second of it, and it makes no sense. Go ahead, Leo. What? I can't hear you. I don't know. You're not muted. There you. Okay, now he's off again. This is crazy. But that was my reaction. I mean, but so the second time you saw it, Nick, same. You felt. Did you see it with different people?
I saw it with Emily both times, but there were other
Okay.
people there the first time.
Okay.
It was just us two the second time. Well,
I feel
I
like,
mean, we had
I
to.
feel like the second time I watched it, I was almost trying to watch it through the eyes of the people who hated it,
Right.
and I still was not following.
Well,
Yeah.
because you're not an insecure male. I mean, that's.
Well,
I mean, if you're an insecure male who think feminists hate men, then this movie's going to just hit you over the head with that left and right. I mean, they weren't shy about what they were getting at, obviously. I mean, they used that speech to break people out of their trance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, they're not, they knew what they were doing. But still, again, it's just a movie about, I mean, this whole thing about Ken is just an accessory to her. Ken doesn't even have his own real identity in the doll world, in the world that Barbie exists, the actual world, the Barbie land. And to get upset because when he comes, I'll tell you what I didn't like when I watched it the second time. Now I remember. That scene she does in his what do they call it? The Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa
House.
Casa House. When she's appeasing him at the end, where she's telling him he's sitting on the bed and he's doing the crying thing, I just felt like, oh, here we go. A woman still has to make this guy feel good about the way she treated him, and it's always about trying to make the man feel okay about what's going on. And I'm like, that's what bothered me. It's like they had to still do that.
I took
And-
something different from that.
Yeah.
Because I saw there was a lot of like backlash on that scene, that exactly what you're saying. It's like she's still just like trying to appease him, but
Right.
I feel like when you're watching that scene, you can almost see it like a light bulb go off for her, that she's like talking to herself, where I don't remember specifically what she says, but she's talking to him about like basically telling him like he's enough without her, and she's like saying the same thing to herself. Where like, I mean, it's comedy. He made the whole thing funny anyway, but like,
Right.
I think it is a moment of realization for her as well.
That what? What was her realization? That she can stand alone, or that it's okay for him to be alone? Which?
No,
That-
for herself.
So she can be what she wants.
She's
to
talking
be.
about how he's like strong and like,
Yeah.
I think she's saying it to herself as well. There's one specific line that she says, and it like, her face like lights up. I don't remember what it was. Should have taken notes.
Well, I got a clip. We'll show a clip.
Okay.
You're not your girlfriend. You're not your house. You're not your mink.
Beach.
Nope, you're not even Beach. Maybe all the things that you thought made you you aren't really you. Maybe it's Barbie and it's Ken.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I kind of took away the second time, was like, oh, here we go. She's got to appease him, and it's, you know, men are whiny and they got to be told all the time that they're okay, and I didn't like that, but that's the only thing. And I don't know, how did you guys feel about her at the end when she decides that she wants to be human, and the last thing is her getting going to the doctor,
The gynecologist.
the gynecologist.
I thought it was funny. I think
Yeah.
there was so much like, did kids see this movie? And like, by kids, I mean like kids.
8-year-olds. Probably, I imagine that their parents brought little kids to this.
I think for the most part it was appropriate. I think there was definitely some adult jokes in it.
Oh yeah, that whole construction scene. I mean, forget the guy slapping her, but the stuff they were saying that was very.
I mean, the first 8 minutes, or like the first few minutes, is them talking about beaching each other off.
All right, Ken, you're on. Let's beach off.
Anyone who wants to beach him off has to beach me off first.
I will beach both of you off at the same time.
But you don't even know how to beach yourself off. How are you going to beach both of
of
us
course
off? It
I know how
doesn't
to-
make
I-
sense.
Ken?
And
Why
you
are
can
you
beach
getting
yourself off.
emotional?
You're going to beach
Come
both
on,
of us
Ken.
off.
Nobody's gonna beach anyone off.
When I,
I
saw
mean,
that,
that's gotta go right over a kid's head.
No. But the thing is, when I saw that, I was like, okay, now I understand what this movie's gonna be like. So I think that was pretty valid.
But what do you mean by that?
Literally, it's just I assumed it was gonna be more kid friendly,
Oh, I see.
and
But that's what I mean about adult jokes. That would go right over a kid's head. They don't know what that means.
I see.
I
That-
hope.
No, that's. I think this is PG. I think it was PG, right, or PG-13. It's not rated R for sure.
I can't imagine.
I gotta believe that people brought their kids to this film. What the drive-in was loaded with kids,
Mhm.
and like that beach off, nobody's gonna Nobody's
PG
gonna.
13.
Nobody under the age of whatever they're not going to understand that. But again, Neil Baumbach, the guy I think he's married to Greta Gerwig. He co-wrote this with her, and I don't know if you've seen his films, but his films are they're pretty intense.
In what way?
He's just got an ironic way of his films. You got to look him up. I don't remember all the titles. I'm sitting there acting like I do, but I know that he's got some interesting films as well. So the two of them, they did a nice job with some of all that, as she called it, entendre.
Mm-hmm.
These sound like double entendres to me. But to stay within the PG-13 realm. But yeah, I mean, it's such an interesting. Now, I'll say this: the patriarchy got its revenge by giving him the Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
And not her. I don't think Greta got nominated for Best Director, even though this is up for Best Picture. Not that I think he deserves an Oscar nomination for this. There's no way. But if you're going to give it to him, you have to give it to Margot Robbie, too. And it just what's so ironic about it is like this whole movie's about feminism, and then the stupid freaking Academy, a bunch of old dudes go and nominate him but don't nominate her.
That shocks me they did that. That's pretty wild.
That's the whole point of the movie is it's not shocking because it happens all the time.
Right. I don't know if it shocks me. But
I feel
and it's still happening.
I don't think that the
a lot of parts to that though.
What's that?
I mean, I can't speak on it because I haven't seen. I think I've seen like maybe 50% of the movies that are out.
The other ones,
like,
yeah.
I think that the female, lead actress. I think every single one of those, although I heard one of them maybe is questionable, was deserving. And I even would say that I don't think Margot should have been up there. I think Greta Lee should have been up there.
Which one was Greta Lee?
Past Lives.
Past Lives.
Oh, okay.
Which was incredible. I don't the lead actor, like, I feel like if it was all one category and he got it and she didn't, it'd be crazy. But they're two different categories, and I don't know that there was someone that was better than him.
He didn't get lead for it. He got
supporting actor.
Supporting,
so he's up against Robert Downey Jr. So
he's not
winning.
Getting it.
He's not. I can't imagine him winning if he's up against him. But it just like solidifies why the movie was made and why they did the movie the way they did it. And and again, what's her America Ferrara?
Yeah,
how do you say her name?
She got nominated.
I know she did. Does she deserve that one too? I mean, no.
I'm happy for her. It's great, but I didn't
great.
think that her performance was
Oscar worthy. I don't think so. But anyway, what else, Bella? Anything else about the film you want to throw out there?
Specifics to touch on?
Yeah. What's your favorite scene? Favorite scene?
Ooh, favorite scene? That's hard.
While you're thinking, Noah Baumbach, however you say his name, did Marriage Story.
Yeah. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a
brutal.
Good one.
It's on my list. I haven't seen that yet.
Madagascar 3. So.
Madagascar 3. He did. He directed that one.
He wrote the screenplay, I guess.
Marriage Story is devastating.
We watched that one together.
We did.
Yeah, and you were like, this is so real, man. Like,
that's Adam Driver, right?
Really, no one else
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
He's written a couple Wes Anderson. It says that he wrote Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Okay. Anyway, good writer.
Good.
Okay, Leo. But so Bella, you didn't give us a favorite scene. No favorite scene?
I know. I can't think of a favorite. I liked when she sat down when she was in the Barbie like headquarters running from Will Ferrell. Also, that in itself was a good scene. The running scene, the way they did that, I thought was fun. But then when she's sitting down with Ruth, I think, who was the creator of Barbie,
yeah.
I thought that was a really sweet scene. And I saw things about it. I didn't like repay attention, but I saw things where it was like, oh, when she like handed her the cup of tea, their hands were like that one art piece that's like, I forget what it's called, but they're like about to touch fingers. I thought that was cute.
That was nice. And the old lady that she sat in the bus stop and said, "You're beautiful." That was somebody that I think she's an Academy Award winning set designer, a costume designer. That lady. Leo, favorite scene.
See, it's funny because Bella just had like a very thoughtful and like meaningful. I mean, I guess all the scenes are meaningful.
Dude,
to the movie.
whatever you're feeling.
Dude, the D-Day scene, and then when they're fighting each other by flashing their abs, and then they open like I don't even know what it is, but then they're doing like a dance battle, like just the whole Ken beach battle with the
scene with all the guys you liked the most.
Yeah.
Is that I Am Ken? Is that the I Am Ken song where they're all in the black suits, or before that, when
right
they're on
before
the beach and they're just shooting? What are they shooting? Arrows and.
But the leading up into like just the D-Day fight, and then they're dancing like ballerinas, literally in the same few minutes, was just hilarious. And that's my favorite scene.
That is.
Yeah, all the Kens were awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Emily, what's your scene?
If we're going funny and not like heartfelt,
Whatever you want. I mean, this is your scene. Which scene? That doesn't matter.
well, I really like the scene when she sits down next to the old lady and says she's beautiful.
You're so beautiful. I know it.
But I also really like her feet being flat and everyone gagging and the lifeguard gagging them yelling at him.
What?
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Weird Barbie was funny too, I thought. Although Kate McKinnon always
In the
plays,
splits?
she plays the same person.
She
all
just
the
plays
time.
herself.
That's what she does. Nick, scene.
Every scene with Dua Lipa was spectacular.
Now, which one is she now?
Mermaid
like
Barbie.
one scene.
Mermaid Barbie? That's it?
No, it's a good scene.
You just like Dua Lipa. Okay, I got you.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
I think the music numbers were really good. The opening Barbie scene when she comes down the house and she starts to see everything how it's going. But
Yeah.
I think the dancing scene when all the Kens are trying to impress her and it's at the party at her house was
Yeah, that was
my
pretty
favorite
good. That was a pretty good one.
That might also be
that's
one
when
of
you see
my
Ryan
favorites.
Gosling really commit to it and he's like, okay, I'm gonna be the best Ken I can be.
Yeah. Were those real abs that he had, or were those fake?
Probably.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I like that whole shtick they did where they would throw clothes out, it would freeze, and it would tell you what
Yeah.
how much it was or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just thought the I Am Ken dance number he does with all the guys in the black, they're all wearing the black suits. I thought that was fun. The Will Ferrell stuff, the stuff in the Mattel. I mean, this is why a guy like my brother who would see this would go, look, they're making all the men look stupid. And then the husband of America Ferrara, that guy, he's just nothing. He's just learning a language. And, that's why it can be called out, because and that one line that one guy does, and the kid that gets the FBI call that goes up into the CEO's office.
Mm-hmm.
And that one line where he said, well, I have no power. Does that make me a woman? That's when I cringed when I saw it the second time. It's like, that's the kind of stuff that drives people crazy, to hit it that hard. It's bad enough that she does the speech to wake people out of the trance. I can accept that because that fits within the context of the film. But that line about, I have no power, so am I a woman? It's like, oh, come on.
Well, it also followed Margot asking where the president of the company is, the CEO, the CFO, and he's
Right.
like, man.
Right. But
I
Mattel
think
is
it was
actually,
fine.
I mean, it's amazing that Mattel let them do this, right? Because they make
Yeah.
fun of Mattel. Mattel has a ton of female CEOs and all that stuff. So it's just it's in the context of this film. But it's pretty brave of Mattel to just, what's Mattel? They're going to sell so much. Obviously, look at these
Yeah.
shirts and stuff. They're just going to make bank on this thing. And that's the other. The other thing is the right wing is all a bunch of capitalists. They should love the fact that this thing is making the kind of money it's making. It's capitalism at the height. It's everything they want, and they're pissing and moaning about the fact that. Did you guys see the Ben Shapiro review he did where he threw He burned the Barbie dolls in the thing, and he hated it from the minute he walked in. It's just,
Must have missed that one.
yeah. Take a look at that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that Ben Shapiro.
Take a
film
look at the Ben
lately.
Shapiro review of Barbie that goes on for 40 minutes, and tell me that guy doesn't have a sense of
I
humor.
don't know if I can make it 40
Yeah,
minutes.
it's just unbelievable. And
That he's got to be playing for his audience, right?
of course, he's playing for the clicks and all that. It's insane. I'm just trying to think if there's any other. And you guys like Sarah, huh? You thought he was good, Michael Cera?
Oh yeah.
Michael
Good in
Cera.
everything.
Alan?
Alan. That was Alan.
You didn't like him?
It was okay.
He was the
I love
perfect
him.
Alan.
Yeah.
He was.
Is Alan a real thing?
Yeah.
And did
I
you
think
know
so.
who Midge
think so.
is? You know Midge, the pregnant one?
Uh
Do
huh.
you know who that is?
No.
He's the director of Saltburn.
There you go.
Yeah.
Promising
Full
Young Woman.
circle.
Yeah, I just found that out today. I didn't even know that.
Yo, real life movie connoisseur. That's crazy.
I'm a fan. I'm not a
I'm just
man.
part-time.
No. I was talking to Emily.
Oh,
Oh, I'm just a fan.
no, these guys are on Letterboxd, right? You guys are checking out
You're not?
Letterboxd? I am. I have an account. I just don't go.
I was working on my spreadsheet today. Also, I wanted to know, we watched Barbie on Max,
Yeah.
right, Nick? And
Yeah.
we watched the ASL version.
What's the ASL version?
There's a little
There's a woman in the
person
corner
in the
signing.
corner
Sign
doing
language.
Oh,
ASL.
really?
It was
It was
unbelievable.
off.
Bella made us watch that version too.
What it was? Oh, what do you mean it was off? It was good or was bad?
She went off.
Amazing.
Like she was good.
Yeah, it was cool.
She's signing the songs, the background noise.
I thought from the beginning, I
The
wanted to
indistinct
watch
chatter.
it because people have said to watch it so that Max puts out more with ASL. And I thought at the beginning, I was like, oh, is this going to like be distracting in the corner? And I ended up watching her for a good amount because it was like so intriguing. Not intriguing, like I was locked in on her.
That's insane.
I tried to get Bella to turn that version off.
Yeah,
but she
Bella.
really
I
likes
didn't
the
know
little-
that was a thing. You know.
Bella likes the
I
little.
mean, it's new,
Yeah.
but yeah, we had to watch.
I'm gonna say
Support.
the other scene that I really liked, and it's when he first goes in the building, Ken, and he's realizing what's going on, and there's that whole wall of videos they do. They show Rocky. I can't remember all the scenes that they showed, and the way he realized what was going on was just a good. It was a blast. He's so good. Ryan
Did I
Gosling.
miss that part?
Yeah, it's when he first goes in the building and he's realizing that
Like
I don't need an
downtown LA.
They'll give a guy a job no matter what. They don't need.
Oh.
But they had that
Oh, yeah.
montage of like guy stuff, and the other thing is all the references to guy movies like The Godfather, and some of the stuff when the women were in the trance giving them their beers, walking around just and rubbing their feet and all the stuff they were doing, having to sit through The Godfather while they explain what The Godfather's all about. So
I think that was my favorite scene when they're like breaking the girls out of their
yeah,
trance.
that was pretty good.
Just
That
go
was
ask
pretty
him
good.
about The Godfather.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. I mean, I think it's ridiculous the way some people have come at this film, and I just kind of wanted to get your take as young people. I mean, I guess you're thinking nothing much has changed. Is it getting any better as far as your
I wouldn't
stake
say
in the world?
nothing's changed. I just think that to say that it's like not a problem anymore is not true. And
I didn't actually
also
say
think
that. I was wondering if it's still a problem.
no, I'm not saying you specifically. I think people in general think that like it's not a problem anymore. I think people are, from my experience, more like, I think when you were talking about like that generation was kind of like, oh, that's just how it is.
Right.
Like
They
gotta
got
deal
They
with
have to
that. And
deal
I
with it.
think-
Yeah.
I think now, like, we don't have to deal with that, and people are aware of the fact that we don't have to deal with that. It's not normal. That doesn't make it any easier to come forward. It doesn't make it any easier to go to HR or
Right.
anyone or tell anyone. But I think people realize it more now that like that's not normal and it's not okay.
Yeah.
And I think people are more willing to speak up now.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
I have to say, from my side of things, I look back at the 80s and 90s, and I'm like, woof, oh my God. It was, oh, what a cesspool. Honest to God. It was a cesspool of just misogyny and just brutal. And, obviously being around, having a daughter, having young sons and stuff, and trying to get them, I mean, I think all my kids, Matt, the whole group. I don't feel like there's any disrespect in any of them. I don't know, but it's an interesting thing. And Maria definitely, my wife, she loved the film, but it did bring up a lot of this like stuff that happened to her back in the day. Because my first reaction was, Jesus, that speech is just, and she goes, like, you just don't understand. You can't understand. And she's right. I couldn't understand because I never had to deal with what you have to go through to be a female in the world. Because that speech is exactly right. You're judged no matter what you do. And again, it's just a movie about dolls. It's like Toy Story. It's just a movie about dolls that, deal in the real world. And it's fun. It's a fun film. What were you saying, Bella?
I think Emily was saying something, but I will say I definitely haven't experienced like the worst of misogyny. Like it's not what it was. But seeing that, it's still like I remember being like, very excited for like all of you. I think Dad, you and maybe Dylan or someone was talking about going to see it, and I remember immediately after I saw it, like texting you guys and being like, "Did you guys see it yet? Do you get it yet? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Like, are we processing things?
Is it
Like,
clicking?
what do we think? Is it clicking?"
It didn't click. Okay. I mean, I saw it. I mean, come on, it hits you over the head. It's not like subtle in that at all.
No, it's not.
But again, like I said,
I don't think it should be.
No, the only line that got me was when he said, I have no power. I must be a woman. It's like, oh, come on. You just drop that.
Why does that bother you? I'm
Because that is a direct, like, that's what drives people insane about the left.
But is it
no,
wrong?
I know. Is it wrong? No. But do we have to be hit over the head with it? I think I'm sort of reacting the way I think most of the right wing reacted to this film. Do you have to hit me over the head with all this woke shit all the time? Do I have to have it? And that's the only line. And it wasn't until the second time I watched it that I felt that. Because now like I said, I'm less concentrating on all the cool stuff that's going on in the costuming and the sets and all that. And now I'm into what the message is on the film. Good or bad, that's what I was doing. And that's the only line where I was like, oh. Because, everybody's complaining that everything is woke now. That there's no good movies anymore. There's messages.
I think, like, hitting you over the head with reality is being called woke.
Woke is a correct thing. Woke is right. Woke means you're waking up and you're seeing what is wrong with the world. There's nothing wrong with being woke.
But I guess like that's the thing is him saying, "Oh, I'm a woman. Do I not have power?" Like
no, he said it the opposite of that. I don't have power. I must be a woman, is how he said it.
Okay, which I personally didn't have to wake up to see because that's reality.
Right.
That's my point. Is like, so you waking up to see it makes it like cringy.
But I didn't personally need to be woken up to see that.
You didn't.
Right.
I also think, yeah, it shouldn't feel like it's hitting you over the head, unless maybe you think that like women don't deserve power.
Well, that's
then it's not for you. It's not targeted at you.
So
that's correct. That's correct.
So then it's like, why should?
So I get what you mean.
Like I just
get why you cringe because it's not for you, but like.
Well, I only cringe because it's. Go ahead, Leo. You were going to say something. What were you going to say?
I was about to say, like, when you guys watch this movie, Bella and Emily, were you guys like, well, duh, where Dad is talking about getting hit over the head?
I didn't even think of it. I just kind of thought it was funny because it like feels a little obvious almost. Like it's just like it's like a funny line.
I see.
It wasn't like, oh, that's kind of rude. Like,
well,
did you guys see Don't Look Up?
Yes,
I did.
I feel the same way about that movie, where a lot of people didn't like that because it was woke and it was. I think a lot of people missed the point, but the people who did understand it and didn't like it was because, like, to me, I watched that and I was like, oh, it's funny, like it's making fun of this, and that. Where I think some people were like, oh, this isn't funny because it's making fun of this, and that. Where I feel like the Barbie's the same way. Like, I thought it was funny. It was making jokes about my reality, I guess.
Yeah, but I didn't go into this film. I didn't know what to expect about Barbie.
You neither.
I thought it would be a fun romp. You heard all about it. Margot Robbie's gorgeous, so you're going to go see what she's going to pull off. Ryan Gosling, so you know it's going to be funny and good. But I didn't expect the amount of messaging, subtle or not. It's in there. I mean, you can't deny that it's in there. And it didn't bother me. But I think looking at it from 20,000 feet and going, okay, people are getting insecure men are going to be offended, and some women too. There were a lot of women who complained about the fact that this was beating men over the head, as they perceived it. And it's just that one line was just like, okay, they went over the top with that. They didn't need that. The CEOs, that whole group looked like a bunch of idiots. They're all following, Will Ferrell. They look like fools.
The key card scene was the best
Yeah,
part.
so all the dudes do look like fools in this thing. And if you're an insecure guy, you're going, see, they hate men in this thing. But that's not the point. That's not the point. And it's a fun romp. It's fun. And I don't know.
I think also what bothers me is people forming opinions on something they haven't seen.
Well, no kidding. And I don't allow him to say anything.
I'm not speaking about anyone.
I'm speaking directly. I told him.
In general.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Don't form opinions about movies you haven't seen.
Of course not.
Like Lord of the Rings.
You
still watched it.
I've seen them, so now I have opinions, okay? I can share my opinions, and I can talk about them. But, so, will there be a sequel?
I don't think it needs one.
Is there talk of one?
Probably.
Yeah,
Make that much money, you don't think there's going to be a Barbie 2?
I was about to say, anything that does this well, they're going to slap on number 2.
I don't know. I know. Say that again?
Not if it's Greta Gerwig.
I can't imagine her doing
mean?
the second one.
She's made 3 movies now? They've all done very well. And she doesn't seem like the type of person you never know.
It's made $1 billion though.
That's the
Billy
thing.
talks.
Billy
I don't know.
talks.
I don't think
I don't think it will either. But
Yeah. I saw stuff about them wanting to make other live action movies though, with toys. Like Bratz and stuff, or I don't even remember what else.
Yeah, that'll probably happen. Have you guys ever seen Superstar, the Karen Carpenter story?
No, but I know what it is.
Using Barbie dolls to show her disease. She was anorexic.
Is this a recent thing?
No, it's in 1999, but it got taken out of circulation because of lawsuits and stuff. It's on YouTube. Superstar, the Karen Carpenter story. Todd Haynes, the guy. You guys see May December?
yes.
He directed May December. That director. Carol, May December.
Would you like
Karen
These are
Carpenter?
the people who deserved an Oscar nomination.
Charles Melton? I think he deserved it over Ryan Gosling.
The guy in that film, the guy in May December, the guy playing her, yeah. That's a good film too.
I feel
Not
like
great.
comedies are really hard to justify Oscar nominations.
No, it shouldn't win. It's up against Oppenheimer. It's up against. Have you guys seen Zone of Interest?
No,
Not
that was
yet.
next on my list. We just saw Anatomy of a Fall though.
Yeah,
That's supposed to be good.
That
the
movie
woman
is
that's in
incredible.
that is in the.
Zone of Interest is a masterpiece, and it's not one you walk out going, "Ooh, what a great film! That was awesome." And I saw it on a beautiful, bright, sunny day, and it's like
Cloud
it's
over you when you
tough.
left.
It's tough. It's tough. It's really
Did you
well
see it in
done.
the theater?
I did. You have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
The sound design in the film is what makes the film. It's amazing.
Is it?
You know
in
what? You know what the story is. You know what the story is.
I know, yeah, and I usually don't go into movies knowing anything about them, but I keep seeing stuff about it.
Well, it's Bella and Leo. This is a story about the commandant who ran Auschwitz, the concentration camp in Poland.
Yeah.
And he had a family that lived in a house right next to Auschwitz. And the whole film takes place in the house. And about just what's going on in the house, the birthday parties they're having, the swimming pool parties, all this stuff. But the whole time it's going on, you're kind of seeing, because there's a fence that separates them from the concentration camp. And all you're doing is you're seeing little hints like trains going by, but what you're hearing is everything going on in the camp. And it's a constant rumble throughout the whole film. By the end of the film, it's only an hour and 40 minutes, but by the end of it, you're dragged down so heavily from what's going on that it's an experience that is just crazy good. So Barbie could never.
Yeah, I want to see that.
And I think there's 10 films that get nominated for Best Picture now, which is
That's a lot.
I need to
insane.
look them up.
Yeah, and
I think
and
Killers of the Flower Moon's on there.
Yeah, it is. Greta Gerwig didn't get nominated for Best Director. I think they only nominate 5.
Yeah.
So, and again, there we go. The patriarchy alive and well. Leo, are you respectful to your female counterparts at work? Both
of course
old and
I am.
young? Of course you
course.
are. There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
I've I don't know, maybe I have, but I don't know. I've never seen that conduct. I've only worked with young people though, so
Yeah.
I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Go ahead.
I'm not saying it's not a thing.
No. I'm not saying you're not either, but also it's like the same idea of like white people being like, I don't see racism. Like, I'm not saying that, like, I've definitely seen racist things happen, but I'm not experiencing those myself, so why would I see it? But, like, I think the people that are the predators, let's call them, at workplaces know how to do it. I mean, there's definitely people who are just outwardly, like, disgusting at work, but, like, they know how to do it in a way that, like, you wouldn't see it. I don't know if you've worked with women before, or I don't know the types of
me? Me?
No, Leo.
Oh, Leo.
I don't know the types of like jobs you've had, but I just know that in my experience, these people who are doing it aren't doing it in front of people. But if it ever did happen that way, I hope that everyone here would speak up.
Of
You
course.
find it more prevalent in a certain type of work,
Yeah.
like the restaurant business, per se.
Oh, I bet you that's got to be.
I'd say like harassment for sure in the restaurant business, but I would say like being a nanny, which is a female dominated industry, I dealt with it's what kind of what Bella was talking about like being perceived as like less than just for being a woman, or like just the job in general, people being like, oh, like you play with kids all day. It's like that's not what I do for work. Or like I've had experiences where I don't know, I always think of this one specific thing where I had this huge stroller that I used to take in and out of my car for the kids. And one day the dad was like, oh, I'll do it. And like, it wasn't in a way of like, oh, let me help you out. It was like, you can't do that. And I was like, I got it.
Is that, but do you really think that, is that your perception that he looked at you like you're too weak, you can't handle it? Or was he just being nice?
I heard the way that this man spoke about women.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
But that's what I mean is like, it wasn't a, well, let me help you out with that. It was I got it.
Okay.
Like, and I'm like, who does this every day, all day? Like,
yeah.
And it's just little things like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because Bella surprised me when she said, even in her jobs, I don't know if the one now or whatever, that she definitely sometimes feels that, like, oh, you're a female, and like you said, you don't see race. You think you don't, like, because I'm privileged, basically, and things like that haven't happened, that I can't see that. And I don't expect other people to do it. Like, I live in a world where I would not treat somebody like that. So I think everybody is going to treat people respectfully, but that's not what happens.
Right.
And there's a lot of shitty people in the world. And
you said something earlier, though, that I made a comment, but I didn't finish. You were saying when you're talking about Maria and how you don't understand, like you can't understand. And I think a lot of people like are uncomfortable saying that. It's like, I don't see that happening. We're like, you can't see it happening. And you have to be like comfortable enough with yourself to be like, I can't see that happening and I can't understand that because I will never experience that. But I believe you and I can like understand that that's happening. But just because it doesn't affect me doesn't mean it's not happening. And I think a lot of people have a hard time like admitting that, like it just won't happen to you.
Well, it's that whole, okay, we're going off track a little bit, but it's kind of an interesting conversation, I think. It's that whole idea that if a female teacher sexually harasses a young boy versus a male teacher harassing a young woman, the perception, whether you like it or not, is it's no big deal for the young boy. As a matter of fact, it's a badge of honor.
Perception from who?
From just in there, my perception. I've had a couple people. I've had one person in particular told me a story about him being sexually harassed by a female boss above him, and it's still it's the same things happen. You know, the whole hotel key, meet me, your job depends on this kind of thing. But it was a male. And it still doesn't take on the weight that if it were the other way around. And I'm saying perception-wise, and that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. This whole Boy Scout thing, where all these have you seen the documentary about the Boy Scout, the harassment in the Boy Scouts? And there's all these 50, 60-year-old men who, to this day, can't even function because of what happened to them when they were 12 years old. Yep. But men it has a different, it doesn't have the weight that if a female were getting perception. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, it's just the way it is. So when she said to me, you just can't understand, she was 100% right. Because I've never had to worry about that, making sure I look right so my boss looks at me and doesn't, it's just insane. It's insane. And it's hard for me to step out of mine and get into your head. And that's why I was surprised when Bella said what she said. Because I thought we're at the point now where that's not happening anymore. But obviously I'm 100% wrong.
I think it's also sometimes unintentional, which, like, I don't know. It doesn't really make it less bad, but I also, like, I think just assumptions are made about, like, oh, like, a lot of, I think, older men assume, like, what happened with Emily, like, taking the stroller out, like, maybe just assume that that's, like, the right thing to do, like, take it off your hands. But it's like, I can do that just fine. It's like, you could at least ask first. Some people just, like, genuinely don't realize it, but
if I saw you struggling with a big stroller,
but I wasn't struggling. That's the thing.
Okay.
I wasn't struggling.
Okay.
And he couldn't have perceived me struggling because I hadn't even taken it out yet.
But did he know you took it out every day?
Yes.
So, so maybe he saw you one time having trouble.
This is the same man who
I'm not trying to defend.
This is the same man who said that he almost got in a car accident, someone almost hit him, and they were an unnamed race and gender. And I was like, I actually don't know what you mean by that. And just made him uncomfortable. I'm like, that's, like, just comments like that. Like, and you
it's amazing that
in front of, like, other people.
It's amazing the comfort some people have saying that stuff.
For sure.
It's amazing to me, the stuff that comes out of people's mouths, and be comfortable about it. And look at you like drop the N-word and you're like, what the hell was that? What are you doing? I'm not talking about singing songs, Leo. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about everyday life. Yes. But so
do you think I'm saying that while I sing my songs?
I don't know.
Leo, set the record straight.
Yeah, clear your name.
It's so funny.
What do you mean by that?
The song will be playing for a few minutes, and then that one word comes up, and Dad's like, "Gah!" Like, it's like you can hear it from like a mile away.
Yeah.
It's like the only word you pick up.
Right. Did Raphael see Barbie?
Yeah, we watched it with him.
I think he's seen it twice. Because
no, it was me,
Bill,
and Raphael.
Oh, I'm sorry.
In their apartment, but I think Raphael might have seen it with you because he saw it. Me and Raphael had seen it, and Leo hadn't seen it yet.
Okay.
Who here identifies as a feminist?
Ralph, a little late on that hand, dude, huh?
What does that mean? I don't identify myself as a feminist.
Okay.
You don't? Then don't raise your hand.
I didn't. I didn't. I was like,
am I allowed to? Can I be a feminist, but I don't do any, like, activist things? Like, what if I just support women? Do I have to, like, go to...
Just respect. Forget...
Well, what does activist mean?
Like, going to rallies?
Like,
yeah,
you don't have to go to rallies, but, like, do, like, in your smaller state,
painting his hair pink and going to rallies. Feminist.
Is that what feminism means to you?
Yeah, a feminist. It's like going to church and not being, like... Going to church doesn't mean anything if you don't actually believe what you're...
I see.
It's called respect for everybody. Okay, that's what it's about. Bella and I went to the Million Woman March, right? Together with the Pussy Hats or whatever they were called.
Pussy hats?
Yeah, the hats. Yeah,
they were hats. Pussycat hats.
Yeah, Pussycat hats. I left the cat out. Sorry, left the cat out of the bag. No, I don't consider myself a feminist, but do I respect women? Of course, I'm surrounded by it. My work forever. I've been surrounded by women. Women run the show, and I don't have any
power.
What part of, like, being a feminist do you not identify with, or, like, what is, like, I'm confused about what is your definition of, like, being a feminist?
I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea. What is your definition of a feminist?
I would just say, like, basically supporting women's voices. Like, it doesn't. I don't.
Okay, then I'm a feminist.
Anything like.
Then I am a feminist.
There you go.
but I'm also a manimist or whatever. The other side. I mean, it's just like
Manimist?
support.
Who's a manimist?
I don't know. What is that? There's feminism and there's what's the other one? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I didn't know there was another one.
Feminist?
White pride.
See, it doesn't even exist.
Pride?
See, that's what I mean. It doesn't exist. See, men are getting shafted.
Because they don't need it.
Okay,
Are you,
no, you're right.
do you
we
still have
don't.
the patriarchy hat on right now, or is this Ralph?
I'm wearing the patriarchy hat. It's coming seeping through my vein. I can feel it. I'm starting to get a little offended here. Because we're not represented very well. Sure we're not. So all right, back to the movie.
Sure.
What's that, Leo?
Sure.
Okay. Rate from 1 to, let's say 1 to 10.
We do 1 to 5s over here.
Okay, we'll do 5s then. 1 to 5.
10's just too many numbers.
But you could, okay. What's your rate? 1 to 5.
Let me check what I gave
I think I gave it a 4. Let me double check that for you.
And what's the mark-offs? Why not a 5?
I think it is difficult to give a comedy a 5.
Really?
And I watched it at a time when I was watching a lot of other movies. I think a 5 is really hard to give.
That's true.
To be
I think I have
to be a
3
perfect 5,
5s.
yeah. My 5s right now, I could tell you, are Parasite, Past Lives, and The Return of the King. But that's besides the point.
Return of the... Are you kidding me? That's
I have a couple others, but
Parasite I get. That's a
Parasite's
good one.
I actually only have 2 5s. That's surprising.
Parasite, and what's the other
But
one?
this is only since 2020. Because I'd give Shawshank a 5.
I hate that movie.
you are.
I know.
The 5 on mine is
I'm an outlier on that one. I don't get it.
Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
No, I haven't seen that. Tropic Thunder, I think, gets a 5 for me. But I'd throw a
Tropic
3 at
Thunder?
Barbie. I'd say a 4 at Barbie. 4.
Oh, I thought you said 3.
I did, but I think I'll go 4. I think the second. It's not that I started at a 5, but it was a fun movie. That first time I saw it at the drive-in was just such a fun experience. And to be able to relate to Maria that way and have her cry about that that speech was wonderful. It was great.
Yeah.
Right.
I got to experience that with my sisters, and obviously, I didn't have the same emotions as they had because I don't feel what they feel, and I can't understand.
It is
like you said
difficult
before.
right. That's a tough one to kind of wrap your head around.
But the scene when
I cried at the end. When they're
she's
going
talking to
through all
Ruth,
the, like, home videos.
Montage.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that because the music too is unbelievable, and I think Billie Eilish just won a Grammy for that.
she's
Maybe.
won a lot of awards for that song.
It was very well done, and I didn't see the movie because Margot was pretty, like you said, Ralph. I saw it because
Not
Margot,
that.
because she's a great actress, and Ryan Gosling's an amazing actor.
I saw it because I love Greta.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. Listen. Okay. I hear you. She is a great actress, but come on. Again, let the patriarchy slip through a little bit. Okay.
I picked up on that
Why
when
do you
you
think
said
they
it.
did? Why do you think they did the whole? The whole 2001 at the beginning, so we could see
The narrator literally says when she's talking about being ugly or something.
I know that scene where
Margot Robbie's not the best person for this.
she's not the
role.
right one to represent this thought. Yeah. She, her physicality in this film, I thought was very good. That scene where you're talking about, where she's crying about that, and she's flopping herself on the ground
Like a Barbie.
like a Barbie. I mean, I thought she did. I thought that was good. Good physicality for her.
Yeah, the physical acting was very deliberate, and so was the costume design, because you
I was
see
gonna
through
say,
the movie,
costume-
like her hair gets more and more normalized, and the colors
Right.
of her outfits
Right.
get more and more.
No, the design of this film is amazing. Oh, I know what I want to ask you guys specifically.
Did
you
we think it was a
ladies.
Chevy commercial?
No, the
a lot of not so.
I didn't notice
No,
that
I
the
was
first
just. See,
time.
I was just.
Oh
Yeah.
God!
I just lost what I was thinking about. Oh, I gotta remember because it was brilliant. It was brilliant. The thing I was going to ask you guys.
He was talking about the set
Wanted to ask
design
the
and her
lady.
hair.
Yeah, no, I forget. Oh, guys, keep talking. Oh, this happens all the time. If I don't spit it out right away, I lose it.
Sorry.
It's unbelievable. There was something I wanted to ask you guys about her reaction. I'll think. I'll remember.
Whose
We'll have to do
reaction?
I wanted to say this is
Margot.
this is just like something that I thought was funny with my friends, but it was funny because you said you saw it with Maria, and I
Yeah.
remember I went with a bunch of my girlfriends, and I remember we got there, and I think we like when we were leaving, or as we were arriving, we were like, "Ooh!" Everyone's seeing like to the girls seeing it with their boyfriends. Like, "Uh-oh, this might not be the place to go see something with your boyfriend," or like it might be a breakup moment.
A realization.
Because it's like it might be a realization that like, oh, maybe you see some of these characteristics in like your partner or something, or like they might be laughing when they shouldn't be. Or, yeah.
Listen, man, listen. Look at any commercial where a husband and a wife are in a commercial. The guy is always the dumb. He's always the silly one. It's always, you know. So there's this trope about just dudes being goofy, and I don't think you would go on a date.
I think that's inaccurate. Because I've had a lot of men in my life.
No, that's a thing, I think.
What's a thing?
Especially once men like get together with a woman, they get like dumber.
What are you talking about?
Because like they start relying on the woman.
No. You know, okay, patriarchy coming
She's
through.
right.
Here it comes.
Let's hear
No,
it.
she's not right. What it is you have to
Ralph's
adapt or
coming through.
die. You have to adapt or die is what that is.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
You have to
why?
adapt or die. You have to get the rhythms of your girlfriend, your wife, or whatever.
I don't
Otherwise,
think women have to do that.
What do you mean die though?
just not get along. Just not, you know, I don't mean really literally die. What do you
Oh,
mean?
I
you
know,
don't
but-
think- so women
I'm
don't
not
adapt.
talking about relationship wise. I'm talking about like these. It's always like the dads in the commercials that like are dumb. I've seen the
Right.
commercials, and
Right.
that's accurate.
No, what are you talking about?
Maybe you're not. Maybe
No,
my
well,
dad's
no, I'm not saying I'm
I
not,
have
but
met
I
a
mean-
lot of very dumb men who can't because like I don't know.
This is getting good.
I don't know if
Moms
dumb
take
is like
care
the
of them,
right
and then
way.
they get in relationships, and then they're like, "Oh, you're gonna take care of me," and it's like you're like, I don't know. I just
Oh.
don't think it's
Maybe not all men, but like have you seen the on the street like Jimmy Fallon type clips where they're interviewing like a dad and then they interview the kids like some kid's mom and it's
Tell
like
me
the
your kids'
dad
birthdays.
doesn't know
Yeah,
the
when are all your
birthday.
kids'
One is like,
birthdays?
oh wait, it was yesterday after his kid reminds her. And then the mom is like spitting everything like the best
He knows
the
her
names
friends'
of the
birthdays,
kid's best
middle
friends,
names.
friends' birthdays. And the dad didn't know anything. And like I know
Okay.
they're like edited, but it's like
All right,
know.
but can you change a tire?
ooh.
Ooh,
I don't drive.
I had to unmute for
But
that.
like, ooh, that was a little
I'm asking a question.
That felt targeted.
Did I teach you how to change a tire? Because I probably
Didn't my
I
dad
would-
teach you how to use a
No.
ratchet strap?
Well, by the way, Dylan doesn't know how to
Yikes.
change a tire. My son, my
He's a New
27-year-old
York.
son.
He's a New Yorker. That's different. He doesn't need that.
Well, no, he doesn't know how to change a tire.
To be
but-
fair, like, never mind.
well, Mark McGahee
Oh,
accused
come
me
on.
of being a fancy boy who couldn't change a tire.
Changing
right.
a tire is not an everyday skill.
no, but it's a man skill.
But
That's
it's
the
a skill.
patriarchy
It's a skill.
says.
I'm
Someone's
a
gotta
little.
do it.
You're funny about the details. Like I know every one of my kids. When these guys need anything,
Do you know
they-
them?
their birthdays?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at every one of them. Of course, I know the date and the
That doesn't
time
mean anything.
and
know the
how
time?
long it took. Yes.
I'm
That's
I'm
impressive.
proud of you. Like,
Yeah, and I have what? I mean, it's okay. Whatever. I guess I'm an extraordinary gentleman. I'm an
yeah,
extraordinary man.
I
I'm a feminist. I'm a
No, I
feminist.
really I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I really don't think
Terry, clip
that
that.
all like men are as smart as you might think they are.
Of course. I mean, listen. I'm around dudes all the time. We're not. I know we're not. We're all frat boys. You get together with a bunch of guys.
I
all-
was literally
punching
just about
each
to
other.
bring that point up, where my friends have talked about their frat buddies, and they sound like they just like woke up at a 20-year-old body and they have no clue what to do. It's just like,
well, these are the same guys that didn't know what an ice cube tray was, right?
yeah,
Okay, so like, who are you defending, Ralph?
I'm not.
He's the patriarchy. He has to defend
I
them.
have to defend the patriot, but so are there no dumb women out there? This is why this is
No,
ridiculous.
that's not what we said.
We're
and you're
humans.
also like you're
you
an
guys,
exception.
You guys were generalizing a little bit. That all guys. You said all the guys I
I was
know.
bit
Right?
general.
Thank you, Leo.
Generalizations are like you don't have to take offense to generalizations if you don't feel that applies to you.
I guess I'm defending all my other compadres. The rest of the dudes. That's all.
That don't know what
I'm
ice
enough.
cream trays are.
Maybe you
I'm
should
enough,
call them
I'm enough.
out.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think what I wanted to ask you guys because it was freaking brilliant. It really was.
You keep saying that. It couldn't have been that brilliant.
I'm willing to wait if it was brilliant.
It was. I can't. I've lost it. I'll have
You're
to do a
talking
little.
about Margot Robbie being pretty.
No, we were talking about the deliberate design change.
Mm.
No, it did have to do with
Margot.
Margot Robbie. And why
Was it like something she said in an interview or something she said in
I
the
don't know.
movie?
No, it's
I
something
probably
to
watched
the
that
way
interview,
she-
to be honest.
the way she I don't know. She produced this too. I mean, she's a force, that one.
She said that
So-
going to Mattel when they wrote their jokes was like the most nervous part, most nerve-wracking part of the
I
process.
bet. Yeah.
Did you guys know that our mouths and Australian mouths are like formed differently?
What?
She was talking about this in, no, I swear to God, in an interview, she's talking about, I can't remember if it's like, I think it's easier for Australians to do an American accent than it is for us to do an Australian because of the way their like tongues form and the way their soft palate forms. We like don't have the correct muscles to talk the way they do.
Okay. Is that
But
because
they
they're
can
below
talk
the
the way we
equator?
do.
Why is there a reason for that?
Yeah, when you, I mean,
that's
like
just
the
evolution.
accent, you grow up around like forming certain words.
Oh,
and letters,
okay. It's the
like-
way you're forming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fascinating. Thank you for
Interesting,
that.
right?
Yeah, you sound really
very interesting.
fascinated.
Leo, what's your rating on the film? 1 to 5.
You know, the thing is, this is like the first movie I don't watch many movies, but I feel like this one I'm glad I watched. Oh, I'm still here.
You watch a lot of films. You're coming to me all the time, like Exorcist and.
That's when I was stuck at mom's house.
Oh.
I was watching a lot of movies there.
Okay.
No, but I really enjoyed this movie, and like, thing is, like, I almost want to give it a 5, because like, I mean, there's a reason you guys watched it multiple times, even with an ASL lady. It's just like, I don't know. I thought it was a
You
really
really
good
not
movie.
like the ASL lady?
No, I loved her. Every
He's
bit of
watching
it.
like this. He's like,
Yeah, she was chilling.
she was cooking up with gas, dude.
But final answer. Are we doing Hazies? Can I do a 4.5?
You can do a half.
Decimal.
Yeah.
I do
Decimal, dude.
decimals.
I'll give it a 4.39.
Do you ladies know how to do fractions?
Oh!
Wow, you're getting
Um,
canceled for that one.
No, let me text my
Do you have a
dad.
clip to
Mister,
pulls up?
I don't want to do architecture because I can't do math. Interesting.
That's what I quit. I couldn't do it. I
Dad,
didn't.
you
I
got-
could-
you got no clips
But
for
to
us?
be fair, it was calculus. I think is where I gave up. What was it? So 4.5,
4.39.
4.39. Very good, Bella.
I'm gonna give. I rate not very, pretty lightly. So based on like my first experience watching it, like in theater, whatever, 5. I had so much fun watching it. I had so much fun with my friends. It was like we were looking forward to it for so long, and like we all got dressed up, and it was just so fun. And just like, regardless of even how good I thought the movie was, the fact that it like made us all want to do that
Yes.
is a 5. Like the culture around it, everything around it, the whole
I
like, hi
definitely,
Barbie,
I definitely
hi
think you
Barbie.
can rate movies as a vibe movie. Like that's definitely a 5.
That's a fun.
It was
That's
a vibe.
an
I had
interesting.
fun.
That's funny. That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, when we were helping you move, you guys were blasting "I Am Ken," I think, right?
Probably the whole album. It was
They
Yeah.
love the
yeah.
patriarchy when they're moving.
Yeah, of course they love the patriarchy when they're moving. Hey, the patriarchy moved out of an alley. Yeah, come on,
I was about to say, the patriarchy was
Come
called
on.
that from Maryland.
Come on,
The women were
that was a tough move.
You guys
They-
had men there
those-
that weren't
those
even
two
home.
ladies-
I just want to say that I moved
Those two. Wait a minute. Those two ladies
both
didn't
times
think I
while
could do
having
it.
COVID
You
by
what?
myself.
You what?
I moved twice into my apartment and then out of my apartment by myself while having COVID.
Well, I'll call you next time then.
The patriarchy.
You have to see the
It's
alley.
a good time to tell you that I
That
will
was-
be moving again next year.
Yeah. Well, okay. You can tell us now. Book it because we're getting booked on a lot of moves. We got.
I'll have to get work off.
So, my rating I said was what, a 4? 4. I said 4. Okay, but I'm gonna take a half a point off for the second viewing, so 3.5. I just it didn't quite hit me, but I like the idea that it was an event movie for you guys.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's fun, and that's what I think the movie. That's how you should take the movie and just take it for what it is, and all the other messaging and all that stuff. It's like it is what it is. We live in a world where we should know this stuff. We should be aware of what's going on. Be woke.
I gotta
Stay woke.
ask, did you guys get like from this movie? Did you get what you were expecting,
And then some.
and then some?
You mean Margot Robbie in a bikini?
I'm just talking about.
Oh,
I mean, I guess it should have been obvious, but just the whole round message.
Yeah, because I went in not knowing what to
yeah.
expect.
What were you
so I
expecting to
think-
get? That's what I want to know. What were you expecting to get
I
out of
don't
this?
think
what I'm
it's
trying to
what
figure
you're
out.
asking. Like, I didn't learn anything.
Who didn't learn anything?
Me.
Oh, you
Like-
already knew.
I was not served any new information. I thought
Right.
that they produced information I already knew in a fun way. Like Bella said, like it was a funny movie. There was some like tearjerker moments. I thought it was well done. I love Greta Gerwig. I think the set design was great. I think there was representation in the movie, even though it was two white people as the main characters. I just liked it. I liked it a lot.
But you didn't expect that going. Did you expect? You didn't
I think, like I said, I'm a Greta Gerwig fan. I think that what she does, her work is great. I was expecting to see a movie that I liked.
There you
I
go.
didn't like you said, I didn't know what it was about going in. I knew it was about Barbie.
Yeah.
Do you see her as someone who can't make a bad movie because of what you've seen, or you don't form an opinion until you actually watch the next thing she does?
The latter. I mean, she hasn't made a lot, so
Yeah, because I used
She's
to
an
think that
actress
about
too. She acts in
Nolan.
films as well.
she was yeah.
Is that Christopher Nolan couldn't make a bad movie, and then
Dunkirk. Although people really
Dunkirk.
love that movie.
Tenet is the one that he.
and
That's the one.
I like
Dunkirk. Dunkirk is pretty good.
That's because you like Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Are you objectifying Robert Pattinson? Is that what's happening?
No, I think he's a great actor.
Oh, there you go. Good answer.
That's the truth.
He was great in
I've
Harry
seen
Potter.
He is good. He is
all
good.
his movies.
Yeah, I actually like watching him work.
What have you seen of his that you liked?
Tenet, the Batman he did.
You just said you didn't like Tenet.
He was good in it though.
Hmm.
I didn't like the movie. I couldn't keep up with it. I didn't see Twilight, so
Do you see Good Times?
no.
Good time. That's
He
my
did it. There's
favorite.
one. There's an Australian one he did,
The
like
Rover.
the Rover. I thought that was good too.
Yeah.
Man, you watch a lot of films.
You don't want to go toe to toe with her Robert Pattinson knowledge.
Is it
When
bad
do we
for
get into
you?
the segment of what we watch this week? Isn't that one of your?
You want to do a what you watch? We can do.
Yeah,
that.
I would love to.
Can't see anything. Email it to me. All right, let's do that. Let's do a round of what you watch. We'll make this quick. Make
Sure.
it not like my group. My group takes forever on these. Just a quick snippet.
What do you want?
What'd you
45
watch?
seconds?
30. Go, Nick. You're first. No
Okay.
pressure.
My New Year's resolution was to watch 15 movies this year. Already surpassed it. I got addicted to watching movies, and we saw Anatomy of a Fall. It put into the perspective of what different countries' legal systems are like, and it follows a very intense like court case of this woman's husband dying. It was just very well done.
Yeah, same actress that was in
Zone of Interest,
Zone of
yeah.
Interest. Yeah, yeah. It's supposed to be good. Leo, what'd you watch? Nothing.
I got
He doesn't watch movies.
On
You
your
watching-
TikTok
you
feed,
watching-
maybe?
You watching groceries go by all day long? What are you watching?
man.
That's a
It's,
little.
what's that one song? I don't know. But yeah, I don't get time for many movies these days. But I don't know. I had a whole Kubrick phase a month or two ago, and that was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
What was your
and-
favorite?
The thing is, I think 2 years ago I would have said 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Really?
But the thing is, now that I watched Eyes Wide Shut,
Oh no.
and I've woken up. I'm woke now, and I
Yeah.
watched that movie.
Star
Yeah.
Wars.
That was my favorite.
That's an interesting. I can't believe 2001 is one that you would be. I'm bored by that film. It's great. It's great for what he did. And
I
the
skipped
time.
the Starlight, whatever that is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the sequel to that? 2010.
No, I didn't even know it was a thing.
It's supposed to be good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. The Year We Make Contact. It's pretty good. All right, Bella, what'd you watch? Something recent. You're on mute.
Did you catch that? I think the last movie I watched was Twilight, which was like
Twilight.
maybe a week or two ago.
Oh,
And it was great. I had fun. So,
okay.
in my eyes, if I had fun, it was good. But I guess that only applies to like positive movies.
What are you seeing?
You're seeing
Moonlight.
some screen with a bunch of movies on it. Moonlight. You're literally sharing that now?
Sorry.
Unshare.
Do you guys understand production? How production works?
Yeah, you can edit that out.
This is amazing. So you watch a lot of films.
This is Robert Pattinson's movies, so I've seen all but
Told you it's unreal.
Was that a link I just saw?
9.
Remember Me? Oh boy.
But I just worked on some new stuff today. Hold on, let's see how many movies are on here now. I think there's like,
La La Land. Did you like La La Land?
yeah, of course.
You put Past Lives as 4.7?
Yeah, what'd you put it as?
Oh, I see Love Actually on there.
I
5.
just watched that for the first time.
Did you like it? Talk about despicable human beings.
Love
That movie is
Actually,
full of
What did you
that's
say?
full of despicable
3.4?
human beings.
I didn't like it.
I
didn't like
like
it either.
I like it. I'm sorry, I like it, but they're despicable people.
This is what I just added today, these little charts here, to see which months of each year I watched the most movies. In 2020, I watched 147 movies.
Oh my God! You're not going to the theater. You're watching these at home.
No,
right?
Yeah, I went to 147 movies.
I mean, I don't know. You could.
I've gone to a lot this year.
Are they alphabetical?
I think John saw Star Wars that many times in theaters.
These ones are in the
I'm sure
order
it
that
did.
I've watched them.
Okay. The Rover. Yeah, the Rover. Oh, that's all.
And then my favorites are right here.
Where?
Right here.
Oh, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Prisoners is great.
Yeah, great movie.
That's a great. Interstellar, I really like too. That's good. Pretty good taste. Barbie's on there. I see Barbie. Little Women, Past Lives. Coda. What's Coda?
That was the one that got snubbed at the Oscars, isn't it?
Oh,
That,
is
I
that
think
the
it's
one?
unpopular opinion. People didn't really love that movie.
Is that the one where the deaf guy won the Academy Award? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it takes place in around here.
Is it black and white?
No.
The Departed. Another good one. Oh boy. All right, this is exciting. It's like watching paint dry. All right, Emily, you watch 140 movies. Is there something you watched this week you want to talk about? For 30 seconds. Can we talk about Saltburn a little bit?
Sure. How many
'Cause
seconds?
that's what I
did you
watched.
say again?
Saltburn to me was way more hype than because when I actually saw the scenes that everybody was going crazy over, I'm like, no big deal.
Yeah.
It's
Bella,
no
did
big
you
deal.
see it?
I did see it. I didn't love it though, but
I didn't love it either.
I thought it was like, I don't know. I just didn't think it was a great movie.
It's not a great movie. It's a
I
good
didn't think
like
it was
kind
a great movie. I thought Barry Keoghan did a great job. And I was not as shocked as everyone was making it out to be.
I was the same way. But
Yeah.
again,
I
my
think I was
second
kind of
watch
bored.
my second watch was so much better. Have you guys seen The Talented Mr. Ripley?
No.
No, but I want
Which is
to.
essentially,
Because I've heard.
it's the same thing, same idea. I actually loved it the second time, and
I need to watch it again.
because I concentrated more on Barry's acting and what he was the expressions he was making, because I knew everything that was going to happen, and it just changed the movie.
I think.
And now I love that song, "Murder on the Murder on the Dance Floor." I love that, not because of what he was doing, because I thought the song was great. But
Can I share what I watched now?
yeah, of course.
I saw Past.
I'm sorry. Did I interrupt? Did I mansplain there?
No, you. I'm
Okay,
just
good.
wondering if I still have time because you said I had a few seconds.
Okay.
I saw Past Lives for the second time on Saturday. Loved it just as much as the
Who's
first.
in that? Who's in Past Lives? Which one is that?
Greta Lee.
Greta Lee and what's his name? Magaro.
What's the?
John Magaro.
Give me a quick synopsis of the film. What's it about?
It's about this woman who is it shows her childhood friendship with this guy. She moves to New York. She's Korean, I believe, and she moves to New York, and then it's about how they're reunited and that relationship
They reunite after being away.
12
from each
years
other
later,
for a
yeah.
while?
for
Okay.
like 24 years, I think.
Okay.
I thought it was 24.
No, they meet 12 years later and then separate again,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then another 12 years goes by.
Yes.
All right.
Very good. She was just
Past Lives.
Yes.
Is that streaming somewhere, or did you have to go? You don't go to the movie
yeah, I
theater.
watched it on HBO.
Prime Video, I think.
Prime, maybe. I don't know, one of those. It is streaming free somewhere. I also saw Bottoms, which I thought was funny.
It's supposed to be pretty good.
Wasn't great, but
Yeah.
like you could kind of tell that it was written by two young women, but I thought it was really fun.
How's that? I mean, again, explain. What does that mean?
Yeah, can women write?
Just yeah.
With Chat GPT, I'm sure.
The jokes were very much like I laughed at them. They were very geared towards like my generation, I think.
Yeah.
I think Io's literally like a year older than me. I don't know how old the other girl is, but I thought it was fun.
I'm going to give you my impression of your generation. Okay.
I like the way you shrugged as you leaned into that one.
I think you're the most egalitarian generation, which is great. That you guys.
I didn't see that coming.
Just everybody is, everybody's important. I love that.
Everybody's what?
You guys, you take everybody at face value. There's no delineation about who's who and pecking order and all that stuff. It's just great. Egalitarianism is fantastic. I mean, but I think partly I just wonder how we're gonna with all the social media and the way you guys. Again, I'm generalizing, so forgive me. Patriarchy's kicking through. I don't know how we're gonna people are gonna meet and get married and keep this thing going. I mean, because it seems different. It seems tougher. Obviously, school loans are an issue with everybody. Making money's an issue with everybody. It's really hard right now. But go ahead, Lee. Are you about to say something?
Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah.
I mean, it literally is everything. It's like
what? What is it?
I mean, you talking about having you basically just said no one's having kids, right? Or
well, there's less of that going. I mean, people. And there's an argument to be made that because feminism and inequality has become such a thing, that men are being there's 50% of men don't have intimate relationships with women right now, and the men, if a man gets turned down by a woman, what's he do? He shoots her. A woman won't do that. I mean, it's a really effed up situation that's going on right now, with guys feeling. And we're getting I'm getting off topic again, but guys feeling like they're expecting what they can't get, and they get all upset about it. It's crazy time right now. I don't know how you guys are doing it, but I do love the fact that you don't judge people, and that's important.
I agree that it's literally everything though.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's in one aspect it's the generation above you, and even some of your generation, you got married and you stayed married and that was
Not
it.
really.
And
Yeah,
if you were what? I wasn't talking about you.
Okay.
Everyone but you, bro.
You got married, you stayed married. If you were
There
miserable,
was. We did leave the house. We go, okay, now I got a job. Now I'm going to get married. Now I'm going to have kids. Blah. That definitely was.
And even if you didn't want kids, that's just what you did. And I think now it's
you would never admit you didn't want kids, by the way.
Of course. It's a safer space now to be I don't want kids. That's not what I want for my life. And it's okay to not have
but
that.
that's okay. That's what I'm saying. I think that's okay. And there's
right.
nothing wrong
so there's
with that.
good things about it. But then there are people who are I'm ready to have a family and they can't, or they don't have the money, or they're in tons of debt. And it's harder.
That's what I mean. It's hard. Yeah. Well, let's try to solve all the world's problems right now.
One podcast episode at a time.
One podcast at a time.
Name? Oh, Handler, Barbara.
And what are you here for today, Barbara?
I'm here to see my gynecologist.